All right, we're getting some breaking news as well of another clarification that has been made by the MHA. Remember, no interstate travel is currently allowed. Air, rail, metro services or interstate buses are not working, but the government has started special trains for those who have been stranded due to lockdown in places other than their native places, including especially migrant workers who are finding it hard to get paid in these times. So the MHA has come out and clarified that these special provisions are only for those who are stranded, not for those who are working in places other than their native towns and cities. So there are of course those who work away from home, and several of them have been wanting to go to home under normal course. But the MHA has said that these special provisions are not for such people who are working in other cities. They are only for those who can be categorized as stranded. Let's go across to our editor Niranjan also for more on this.
For the latest orders, and I think it's to sort of put it on record to ensure that there is no last-minute rush. And just reading from the latest modified order, the Chief Secretary, the Union Home Secretary Ajay Balla has written to all Chief Secretaries and said, and I quote, "The movement of migrant workers, pilgrims, tourists, students and other persons who are stranded at different places due to lockdown have to be allowed. It is clarified that the MHA orders are meant to facilitate movement of such stranded persons who had moved from their native places or workplaces just before the lockdown period." So once again, Shivani, the facilitation of movement is for stranded persons who had moved from their native places or workplaces just before the lockdown period, but could not return to their native places or workplaces on account of restrictions placed on movement of persons and vehicles as part of lockdown measures. The facilitation envisaged in the aforesaid orders is meant for such distressed persons, but does not extend to those categories of persons who are otherwise residing normally at places other than their native places for purposes of work and who wish to visit their native places in normal course. And he says, "I would like to request all state or union territory governments to facilitate the movement of such distressed, stranded persons as allowed under MHA order." So, for example, Shivani, if I am working in Mumbai, but if my native place is Karnataka, and if I've been working in Mumbai for the longest time, I can't just get up and say, "Hey, I need to go back to Karnataka." I think that's the message that the MHA is sending through this revised order, because what they're seeing is a rush of people, who are applying for, passes and nodal authorities to take them back. Essentially, they're saying if only you were stranded, only if you were stranded just before the lockdown, if you had, and then you were stuck, your movement was stuck because of the restrictions, then you can apply. If otherwise in the due course, you were working somewhere and if you suddenly want to go back, you can't do that.